assessing your account health. That's what we're here for. So where are you? What are you currently selling? And do you need a little bit of guidance on that? I'm just going to give you some ideas on what you need to do to really go away and look at. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Andy Hooper. This is part of our successful EU expansion webinar series, where we are helping our clients to basically to expand into Europe and giving you as much help and support as we can. But what we actually recognized was for those people that have got relatively low sales, actually understanding how to check that is really, really important. So that's what we're going to look to do here. I work at Global E-commerce Experts. I'm the CEO here, and it's my privilege to support sellers just like you to successfully expand. So the agenda, really straightforward, really simple. Are you making money? Yes or no? What's an account health check? What is it? How can you assess where you are? And our success pathway. Really simple, really easy, and that's what we're going to go through. So let's start right with the basics. The Amazon EU market, because before we need to understand how you're performing, we need to understand the market. So the key thing here to say is that every category is slightly different. But if I give you some overall stats, so the EU market is 80% of the US market. So in theory, based on that, you should be able to do 80% of what your US sales are. Now, that's what we're aiming for. The reality is that actually that's really quite hard to get to in a short period of time. Now, with the EU market, it's 20, although there's 5 marketplaces, soon to be 6 with Netherlands, actually it's 28 countries. So that's 28 languages that you're competing with. Now, actually there's 512 million people in the EU, as opposed to in the US, I think it's 365 or something along those lines. So the number of people in the marketplace is bigger, but the number of languages spoken is significantly higher. And that represents a number of issues and basically makes it more difficult for you to be able to get your message across in the right language. But that's why there's 5 different marketplaces as we stand today. So when you're looking at what you're selling, the European marketplace is 80% of the US marketplace. Now, what we typically suggest is you break that down into chunks. Really, you're not going to get to 80% until 3 to 5 years. All right, that's what you're aiming for. 50% is an amazing goal to achieve within 18 months. All right, we have had sellers that have done that within a year, but they break the norm. So you're aiming to get to 50% within that 12 to 18 months. All right. That's really what you're looking to do. Now, how does that break down with the individual countries? So 5 marketplaces. I know we've talked about Netherlands, but let's not worry about Netherlands for now. Let's talk about UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. And they are pretty much in that order. The UK and Germany account for 2/3 of all sales across the marketplace. Okay, so now, depending on what you sell, where you proportion your effort, will depend on whether Germany or the UK is bigger, right? So typically, the UK will be bigger and Germany will be 80%. But what you might find is that Germany's bigger and the UK is 80%. Like, it doesn't really matter what way round it is, but essentially, the UK and Germany make up 2/3 of the market share of the European marketplace, all right? So if you're going to have Prime in 2 locations, we would suggest going for the UK and Germany. So our recommendation now is that you don't just recommend for VAT in Germany, in UK. You register in the UK and Germany, so you get Prime in both of those, all right? If one of our guys hasn't been in touch with you about it and you're interested in that, reach out to us. We've got a great offer on that at the moment, but that's a side deal. So UK and Germany are 2 marketplaces. They take up 2/3. That's what you want to do. Take over 2/3 of the marketplace all in one go and get Prime. So that's really what we're looking to do. France, Italy, and Spain. France is much bigger than Italy and Spain. But again, that depends on the product and what you're selling. You know, if you're selling a snow product, I had a call with somebody like an hour ago, right? Snowmobiles. Snowmobiles in the UK will not sell, okay? Or the parts for those are unlikely to sell, as well as what they will sell in Italy, France, and Spain, because they have amazing mountain regions that have amazing skiing, you know, and they have they have that type of environment. Here in the UK, Scotland gets a little bit of snow. You know, the rest of the UK doesn't really get snow, or certainly not prolonged snow. And they certainly don't have mountains big enough to be able to cope with that. So actually, depending on your product, there is going to be some differences. But as a whole, that's where we stand. So that's really important. So now we understand the marketplaces, we can probably progress from there. So what is account health? Well, the first thing is, are you making money or not? As far as that's as simple as that. Are you making money, and are you anywhere near 50% of what you are in the US? If the answer is no, you have work to do. If you're nowhere near 80%, you have work to do, all right? But some of that is taken over time. So actually what we want to be able to do is look at that in chunks. Now, the next thing is, why are you not? What is the difference between what you're currently doing in the US and what you're currently doing in the UK? What is specific about the EU to what you're not doing, okay? And what are the key metrics you need to consider? I'm not going to go on to this be here for hours talking about some of these things. I'm going to be rolling through these as quickly as I possibly can. So you're probably going to need a paper and pen. You're probably going to need to write these down, and I'll give you as much information as I possibly can. So if you've got poor health, there is a section in Amazon Seller Central on account health. Unfortunately, account health for me and you is probably different to Amazon. They want to measure you on your metrics. You know, they want to make sure everything's fulfilled in time. Whatever that happens to be, I get that. It's important. What we want to know is how do you increase sales? Like, that's what you want to know is, I'm currently selling this, I want to sell this. Okay, so that's really what we want to do. And it comes down to a few different areas. There are more than this, but these are the key areas. Listings. Is the listing relevant? Are the keywords relevant? Are the photos relevant to the right market? There is no point in having a product and it looking like the photos are based in the States or in China or wherever else they may be. You need a European, just like what I've got here. You know that I'm in London. Actually, you're not sure because I've already told you that there's a banner in the background. Yeah, but you see where I'm coming from. You need to make it relevant to your marketplace. Translations. You need to translate your products. That comes to listings and keywords. You need to do that. And you probably need Prime in the key locations. And the last thing is, what have you done to gain sales velocity? Have you done any promotions? Have you done anything on Amazon, off Amazon? All right, really, really key things to understand. Okay, simple facts. How much time have you put into it? So I bet when you started in the US, you put loads of time and effort into it. Have you done the same in Europe? Are your listings translated? Yes or no? Are your keywords translated? Yes or no? Are your images relevant to the marketplace? Yes or no? Are the listings in every country? Yes or no? Yeah. So if you've got in the bottom corner of Seller Central, it says, how many listings you've got in each marketplace. If you've got 50 listings, it should say 50 in the UK, 50 in Germany, 50 in France, Italy, Spain. What you might find is actually you've got 50 in the UK, you've only got 10 in the other marketplaces. Well, straight away, there's an opportunity there. What is it that you need to do in order to do that? Trademarks. Well, trademarks, if you have a trademark for your product, let's get that up, let's get that listed. Because if you've got it listed, you can in turn enhance brand content. The amount of clients that come through us to do an account health check, for example, and say, Andy, can you look at our account and check it all over for us and tell us what we need to do to improve? The amount of clients that come through that have a trademark, but have not done their enhanced brand content. They have not done their storefront. These are really simple, straightforward things to do. I appreciate there's time and effort involved in doing those, but these are the small differences that make a big difference, all right? And we talk about, so in the UK, we talk a lot about marginal gains. How can we take our product from here and do this? Well, the reality is you're not going to be able to have one silver bullet that's going to take you from a listing that's making you no money to something that's amazing, okay? You're looking at marginal gains. How can you tweak this little bit and this little bit and this little bit and this little bit and this little bit? And what that does is that builds up your listing. And then what you end up with is a much better listing overall. There's not one silver bullet. There are lots of different things that are layered up to give you those marginal gains. All right. And that's what we're looking to do. The other thing is, have you gone on the early reviewer program? There's the early reviewer program. It's a button. You go in and press it. Yes. Some of our clients have had zero success with it. Yet one client has had some amazing success with it. Like, it just depends on your product. If you have a unique product on the early reviewer program, it will work. If you don't have a unique product, you're selling, I don't know, iPhone cases, it's just an iPhone case, like, you're probably not going to work on the early reviewer program. But you can enable it. It doesn't cost you anything to enable it. So enable it. All right. So all of these little things are things that you can do just to help add weight to your listings. All right then. So here's what you need to check. Sales summary. You need to take a look at the sales in every single country. Now, what you can do is in Seller Central, I appreciate it changes on a regular basis. You need to change your user permissions every now and then, go through and retick everything and make sure everything's ticked. Okay, what you can get is a lovely little banner at the top. And in that banner, it will tell you exactly what you've sold in the last 7 days, 30 days, 14 days, whatever, in each marketplace. You need to understand and look at every single day how much you've sold in those marketplaces. Because what you're then going to be able to do, I mean, you can put a report on that, of course you can. Yeah, you need to measure it. If you measure it, you'll keep focus on it. If you then look to see what you want to target to be, you're then going to be able to develop that further as you go. All right. So the first thing is you need to get a sales summary of everything you've sold in each country, because then you're going to understand which is your biggest marketplace, which is the one that makes you the most money. Where can you make those small differences, and you can measure that. So if you've got one listing that's your top listing, get that translated. Get the top listing translated in all of the marketplaces. Yeah, one listing to get translated is £60. Okay, straightforward. It's simple. It's easy. It's actually more cost effective to do 10 in one go. All right, but you might only want to do one to test it. So you can do one listing, test it, measure, 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 test, measure, test, measure. What you're looking to do is see what difference that makes. Okay, so basically look at the sales summary and measure that as you go through. You're going to be able to see where you're selling those products. Now, I have put in here is returns. Have you got any returns in each country? Now, you need to know this for two reasons. One, are you getting more returns in one country than another? So, for example, if you're sending products to these countries and you don't have translated user manual, are you getting more returns in one country because they don't know how to use it? Yeah, that's a very simple thing to fix. But you need to measure your returns. You need to see what that is. Now, the second reason for doing that is to understand where you need, what you need to do is understand where your goods are. Because if you have products in another country, you have liability for VAT. All right. Now, some of you might only be registered in the UK and use the European Fulfillment Network to ship your products to other countries. Now, that's absolutely great. The downside to that network is that when you have a return, it goes back to the warehouse in Germany or France. As soon as you do that, you need to remove it and bring it back to the UK. Because if you don't, you have a legal obligations for VAT in that country. All right, so absolutely crucial. So that's why I mentioned there. Okay, the next thing, business reports. You need to download your business report and look at it in detail. You need to do it by parent traffic report to start off with. You take the parent traffic report and you're looking at the number of sessions, okay, across all of your SKUs, and the number of unit sessions, the amount of things that people have purchased. So you're going to see a higher number in certain areas. And what you're looking for is that those numbers match when it comes through to purchases, all right? Or ideally higher. Yeah. So what you're looking to understand is what products are gaining traction and getting throughput, and which listings are letting people to buy the product, all right? Because you can change the listing on the product. So, if this one isn't, you've got lots of people coming to one listing, but they're not buying it, well, what do you need to change to enable that, okay? So you need to have a look at that. So that's a really great way of using the business reports to change that. It tells you about the buy box. What is your percentage of buy box? If you're not winning the buy box, you're not selling your product. Like, you know that, I know that. It's the same in the US, it's the same on any marketplace. You need to be winning the buy box in order to sell the product. What notifications have you got? Amazon will give you notifications. They'll tell you when you're running low on stock. They'll tell you if you haven't got a listing activated. There's lots of things that they tell you that you need to make sure that you're captivating and using. All right. Now the next thing is sales velocity. Sales velocity. What have you done to gain traction in the marketplace? If you've done nothing and you've just launched your products and gone, wicked, they're going to sell, the chances are they're not. All right. What do you need to do to enable that to happen? Okay, you need to have some form of marketing, some sort of promotion in order to make that happen. So they are pretty much the key things you need to start off with and what you need to check. There are lots of, I could probably give you 300 different strategies to go and do this, but really these are the basic ones. Look at the sales summary, look at where you're selling the products, look at what marketplaces are working well, look at the business reports, see which SKUs are selling well, see which ones aren't. Then I gauge an understanding of why they're not selling or why they are selling to then alter what you're currently doing. Because then you can change the images, you can change the translations, you can change the keywords. You can look at the research on what other people are doing and check the keywords for them as well. There's lots of things you can do in order to make these things happen. So there's some of the things you can do. Now, the ultimate blueprint to success. Hopefully some of you have already seen this. I'm hoping you have, because we have done a lot about this. But here is the blueprint to success. This is our 6-step guide. This is what people are using now in order to help them to become the EU's next biggest seller. All right. These are the very basic 6 steps you need to go through. Okay, so 6 steps to success. It's a basic framework for you to work off in order for you to go through and do some of that. Now, the first 2 parts you've probably covered off is compliance and compliance and marketplace launch. The next steps, promote, website, pan-EU, fulfillment, you may not have done yet. All right. If you've not seen that information, go check out the Facebook. We've done webinars on it. There's podcasts on it. There's stuff on our website about it. There's stuff on our expansion site about it. Facebook, everywhere. Okay. There's no excuse. The information's out there. Basically, you just need to go and find that. There will be another webinar on that at a later date. We will host that, but I don't want to focus that in on this one too heavily. Okay. Really, really simple. You really need to focus your account health on what you're currently selling. You need to look at the business reports. You need to look at the listings. You need to focus on the translations. You need to focus on the different marketplaces. All of those things will add up to make those marginal gains in order to help you sell more. All right. Really straightforward. So hopefully this webinar has given you some information, some help to go through and do some different bits. Really, really important that when you're basically doing your account health check, you need to look and see what else you need to do. Okay, so have a look at those simple things. Look at the business report, look at the sales by country, look at where you're selling the products, and then look and see, have I translated my listings? Have I got different images? Are the keywords in place? What are my competitors doing? You know, all of these sort of things add up to really help you to successfully expand. Now, we could spend another hour on this and I could still carry on going, all right? But we're trying to keep these to 20, 25 minutes in order to make that as useful for you as possible. So hopefully this has been useful. Clearly I can't do everything, but obviously I'd love to. But from me, thank you very much for your time. You've all been amazing. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to working with you all and supporting your expansion in the coming future. Thank you very much.